Yes, people, what's happening? Back again for another stream, guys. Now, guys, this one I want to talk about, and this is a certain player that, I believe, this player is destined for the top. Not just at his current club, I think international wise, and I believe he can go to one of the big teams as well, not just in this country, in England, but in Spain. I can see him playing for Real Madrid, a Barcelona, a Bayern Munich. I think he's that good, and I think he's kind of going under the radar because there's so many other players, that play more or less in his position as an attacking midfielder. I think he's going under the radar, and I think he's a special player, and that is Morgan Rogers. I think in terms of England's talents, young talents now, I'd have to go as far as saying I think he's the best one. I think he's that good. Isn't getting the respect that he deserves from me. I think in terms of the ability, his ability to run with the ball, his strength, his skill, I don't see too many players with that ability that he's got. And again, this is someone that was relatively unknown. When Villa took him from Middlesbrough for 15 million as well. I think that, yeah, as I said, I think he's special, really, really special. I think there's a reason why Unai Emery as well plays him in every game. I think out of every player definitely in the attack, Morgan Rogers plays every game. And I think that just shows you how highly he's rated by Unai Emery, because this is Unai Emery that's been at Arsenal, PSG, Sevilla. He's been at top clubs, with some top players. And I think if you was to ask him, who's been one of the best players you've coached or worked with, I think Morgan Rogers could be up there. Because I think he loves Morgan Rogers. He plays him like every game. Very rarely takes him off as well. And you can see why. The guy is a top player, and as I said, I think he's destined to go to the top. He's at Aston Villa, but I think he can play a higher level than Aston Villa, definitely. I think if he keeps improving, keeps progressing the way he is, I don't see no reason why he's not just at a top club in the Premiership, like your Liverpool's. Obviously, he used to be at City as well, going back there. I think he can go and play for Barca Madrid, as I said. I think he's that good, And again, just looking at his career, I've taken a couple of notes. So, obviously, 22 years of age, cost only 15 million from Middlesbrough to Aston Villa. He's got 8 goals and 8 assists in 34 games this season for Aston Villa, which is 16 GA. And again, the GA talk I'm not a fan of, but I just have to just do it for the viewers that do like GA. So he's got 16 GA in 34 games. Again, come from the West Brom Academy. Went to Man City's academy. He was in the same academy as the likes of Phil Foden. I think Foden, Sancho, they were all in the same academy at Man City. Obviously had various loan spells before, obviously being in the Championship with Middlesbrough. And even him in the Championship, you could see that, he was someone that could go to a high level. And Aston Villa took a punt on him, really. And let me tell you now, 15 million is nothing for a player like that. I'll go as far as saying, if anyone wants to buy Morgan Rogers now, you're looking at easily 60 to 80 million, I would say, based on his age, based on his quality. He's now an England international as well. And for me, in terms of England, in that number 10 role, I would have to say he should be the first name on the team sheet. Not Jude Bellingham, not Cole Palmer for me, because Cole Palmer's better from the right. Eze as well. I'd like Eze, but Eze the left or the 10. But I think Morgan Rogers deserves to be a definite starter for England. And Thomas Tuchel needs to be looking at Morgan Rogers as one of his key players for England, because I don't see a better midfielder in England than Morgan Rogers, you know. And again, it's what is it his first or second season in the Premiership? And to be fair, for me, he's one of the best players, definitely one of the best attackers in the league. Like, he's that good, you know. And again, for me, he can go right to the very top. You know, I think in terms of his numbers, I can see him getting better and better with each season. You know, obviously in the Champions League as well, he's now playing, and I think with that experience, he will get better and better. But I don't think it's going to be too long before, you know, one of the big guns around Europe, you know, or even if Man City don't go for a Florian Wirtz, you know, I know they were linked to like a Morgan Gibbs White as well, but they should go in for their former player in Morgan Rogers. Whether Pep wants to do that again, because you don't really see him going in for his former players. But for me, I don't think it's too long if Aston Villa are not in Champions League that one of the big clubs come in for Morgan Rogers, because I think he's that good, as I said, you know. And I don't see too many people talking about it, because people talk about Jude Bellingham, you know. He's got way more ability than Jude Bellingham, way more. And he needs to be playing in that 10 for England rather than Bellingham, as I said, rather than Cole Palmer, rather than any other player I'm putting there, Foden. He's the best out of all them for me. And as I said, I think he's someone that's going to go right to the very top. And I'm going to be following his career very closely, man, because I think he's a top player, man. Some of the things he does in terms of his strength from the ball, his dribbling, the right weight of pass, you know. There ain't too many players in world football that can do what he does, you know. And as I said, Aston Villa have got an absolute superstar for me on their hands. And they'll do their best to try and keep hold of him. But the way that he's playing, the way that he's going to progress and that he's gonna develop, I think he's destined for the top, man. And that's not just in England. I think he can go and play for a Barca, Real Madrid, as I said, with those qualities, you know. And again, I think these clubs need to be looking at him because he's that good. So yeah, man, just wanted to say that. But guys, only a quick one, as I said, and let me know what you think. Do you think that Morgan Rogers is England's best attacking midfielder? Do you think he should be starting for England for the foreseeable as a number 10, you know, or do you think that there's other players that are ahead of him? And Aston Villa, you know, do you think that Aston Villa might command more money, you know, or do you think that Aston Villa should cash in on him if they get a suitable offer? You know, let me know what you think, guys, and big up yourselves. Take it easy.